Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another video of Synergy Music Lessons. I'm your host Josh, and today we'll be looking at Etude in C Major by Carl Czerny. You can find this in the Level 3 RCM Etudes books. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's break this down. Before we get into figuring out how to play this, let's go over some general things, like what kind of key signature are we using, and what's our time signature. Luckily with this piece, we've got a freebie because the key signature is right in the title, Etude in C Major. Next, we have a time signature of 2/4. That means we'll have a total of 2 beats for every measure, so long as this time signature doesn't change. Let's check to see if this all checks out. If we look at the notes here in measure 1, we see a grand total of 12 16th notes, which in normal circumstances would give us 3 beats. Now, if you look more closely at the beaming patterns on each note, you'll see that these 16th notes are grouped in 3s and also have triplet markings around them. Any triplet will combine into the equivalent of one note value larger than what the triplets consist of. Since these triplets are 16ths, each grouping will take up a total of 1/8 notes of timing. Now, looking over the whole piece, there really isn't any variation in the rhythm. So why should we go into depth understanding this timing? Well, the answer lies in the sound or pulsation of the time signature. Here we should have a strong feeling on beat 1 and a weaker one on beat 2. Marking that on our score here, we should aim to put more emphasis on the first note of each bar, as well as the first notes of the third triplets. But remember to keep this second beat a little more subtle than the first. Here's a demonstration of this in practice. If we don't follow this form of playing, the whole piece can end up feeling different altogether. That example sounds kind of forced since every beat and offbeat sounds accented. Let's take a look at another example. Now this example to me seems to lack movement and feels rather bland. Great. Now that we've looked at our key signature and time signature, let's get into learning some of the patterns in this piece. Glancing briefly over the piece, the most prominent technique you'll want to practice is hand-over-hand arpeggios. Let's take a look at how this technique flows in practice. The trickiest part will be the transitions moving into bar 2, since it doesn't give you much time to get your fingers in position for the descent. Here you'll want to anticipate what's coming before you need to play them. Try to practice the tail end of bar 1 into the start of bar 2 in a looping exercise, while being mindful of where your fingers are going at the start of bar 2. The goal is to play with steady flow. Take a look at a demonstration in this exercise. Once you have this flowing comfortably without any hesitation, just repeat the same process in the next system. It's the exact same pattern here, just different notes. Let's skip ahead to the second half of this piece, where we have new patterns. Now, in this section, we're going to have much more frequent chord changes, and although there's less jumping around, shifting your fingers around to different notes can be a little tricky to keep flowing steady. That means this section will take a little bit more work than the first half. Let's take a closer look. Let's look at measures 6 and 7 in the right hand. If you compare each right hand motif, you might notice a pattern developing here, or more specifically, a sequence. Let me help you see it more clearly. In bar 6, our 3-note motifs play out as follows: G, F, E, and then F, E, D. If we look at bar 7, we'll have E, D, C, and then D, C, B. Did you notice it yet? Each of these motifs are actually the same pattern, just displaced by a descending step. Knowing this should take out some of the sight reading factor in your playing. Alright, now that we've sorted out the right hand, surely there must be some pattern for the left hand. Well, kind of. We don't have any sort of clear-cut sequencing here, but we can certainly simplify the practice process. Let's take a look. First, in bar 6, we have a C major tonic chord, followed by a D minor supertonic chord. In bar 7, we have a different inversion of the C major tonic chord, followed by a G dominant 7th chord. Your best bet is to play all 3 notes in each motif as block chords in a repeating loop. The goal here is to try and play faster and faster each time you repeat the exercise. This will help you build muscle memory as you move your fingers to different positions on the keyboard. This should be plenty to get you guys started on this one. Good luck in your practice. And that's all there really is to it, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a message in the comments. I'll see you around.